combo here when you bring out the two teams, because there's a lot of energy and momentum, but then there's a lot of consistency and stability on the other side. And we're really going to see a big clash here as these two teams qualify or try to qualify for playoffs.
And XSET's had such a great swing so far. And T. Carell was one of the big reasons why that team first started and started hot. He leaves, he comes to Soniqs, and he's had a very successful transition. Now it just comes down to, again, consistency and continuity between their runs at events. Can Soniqs find that same rhythm here? Well, RBG is a hot squad, and so far, after the kickoff, they've been able to keep the ball in the blue half, but a long clear from Roldiz will clear it out to T. Carell, who was on the opposite wing, but couldn't get the ball, let alone possession. And again, a long clear off the backboard to T. Carell, who flips it and gives it back to Stokely.
Oh, Roldiz, watch out for him. Look at that, dunk over to the side. T. Carell playing a high ball. Shock trying to get around it, but it's a good clear from Stokely, who's going to try to move downfield. And this one, you know, watching the rotations, especially from Soniqs coming in, is going to be very important. If they extend too far, the counterattack from RBG might be too great for them.
I think Shock was looking for that other 90 roll and just unfortunately was too far overturning. Got basically the bottom hood of his car on the ball, spiked it down, couldn't get the angle. But to Raul's credit, keeping it alive with a punch in for the first one. It works good enough for Soniqs, and they have the lead.
And this is Roldiz taking his time, gets it past Mile, holds the dodge, says, I don't need it until right now, and gets a perfect shot under the bar.
1/3 of the First Touch squad, live on Mondays. Check them out on their Rocket League channel.
Technically 2/3 here.
Oh, you ain't wrong. Hey, you aren't wrong. I mean, listen, he's on the field. You're up here in the booth.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to do it too.
I mean, I don't care. I like being up here.
You get in the bag. I respect it.
You know. He misses a shot. I don't get to take the shot, but guess what? You know, you can't miss a shot if you don't take it. You know what I mean?
T. Carell going to get possession. Gives it back to RBG. And for RBG, kind of the key to success so far in this tournament really has been their defense, but also the quick counterattacks down the field. They don't waste time with the ball. They get quick shots. They keep it alive. And they take away boosts. Resource management has been fantastic. So far, Soniqs do a good job of just spacing the field out and isolating 1v1s, which they confidently win.
Yeah. And seeing those 1v1s, seeing those like 50s is so important. I mean, you talk about Roldiz and Shock too on Soniqs. I mean, the masters of the low 50, where a lot of people try to, you know, play that challenge high. They'll play it low and win it. Meanwhile, T. Carell almost found the second goal, but it's going to be Mile that gets the save.
Raul trying to keep the ball alive, but not a lot of boost in the tank, so resources are here for RBG on the swing, but only one is up. Mile and Stokely working the back line. They'll cut off the angle. Stokely now advancing with the ball, gives it back to Roldiz, who is overextended down the field and already gotten in a position to play great defense. Backflip wrong way, but somehow the ball doesn't go in, and maybe a confident backflip that works out. A long clear down the field. Soniqs have a lot of room to work with now, but the challenges continue. Talk about the low 50s. RBG pull off one of their own, and they get into the opposite corner.
Yeah, and now they're, again, just knocking at the door here. They are stretching the Soniqs defense, though. Roldiz had to make some tough saves. And if Stokely's just a little bit faster, it is a tied-up ball game. And here it comes. That speed from RBG, you're starting to see it come out on the field.
Mile has been electric. Stokely has been basically all money, and money has just been everything that you could have asked for that third man. But who's going to be running point now? It looks like Miles looking for the connection down, but the presence of mind at midfield for Soniqs means we're going to cut that off, and the traffic will ensue on the corners before Shock gets it on a clear away from T. Carell. Kept up to T. Carell on the angle, almost there. Roldiz is in, off target, and two will commit on the line, but finally, RBG's defense withstand the test, and it looks like they're going to get the ball out. Another shot comes through, but Soniqs can't find anything.
Oh, Shock looking for the wide top left shot, but it's off. Back to Shock, but he didn't expect it to go that way. And it gets away from Soniqs. A minute remaining. Chance for Mile. He whips completely on the ball. And Roldiz will play it out, at least for a moment, as RBG still trying to fight for their first goal of the series.
Speed is there for Soniqs, but the resolve currently for RBG is keeping them in this game. It ain't over. And the clear from Stokely might help things. Mile tried to overextend. Money thinking about the challenge on the backboard, is able to get a car in front, and it'll clear it to the blue half. Shock diving in to kill the play and the counterattack, and at least gets in front to cause a chance for Roldiz to have a position. Money going to slow it down. T-Corell in a 1v1 for his life, but gets baited, and Money had nowhere to go and no boost.
Honestly, that's really solid, though, for T-Corell. He pre-jumps it, and you would think, okay, Money has this. T-Corell's in the air. It's no man's land. But Money, like you said, didn't have boost, had to go with the ball all the way. And the recovery from T-Corell was so big. It was so big. It keeps Soniqs in the game right now. Final few seconds. Chance in front, but that ball might fall. No more last-second bounce. RBG banked on it. It wasn't there. Soniqs take game 1.
And you saw the play break down completely, and it just looked like that was the last-ditch effort. They were able to get it cleared down to the field, but even then, Soniqs were controlling the pace, and the defense looked sketchy at times, but that wasn't a negative. Let's cast no dispersions. It was just simply that RBG were doing a good job of peppering shot after shot and grabbing quick rebounds. That is how they find success in series, and now we move to game 2, where, again, it's only been a 1-0, so the Rocket League dream of a series is still alive. But Soniqs need to continue to stay at that same level, that same pace on the field. For RBG, they basically played a perfect game of Rocket League. They were just unsuccessful when it came to finding the tie goal. Dazzern, is there anything standing out to you that needs to change going into game 2?
For RBG, honestly, I think if they're just a little bit more faster to the ball. You can tell that sometimes they're slow on some 50s that if they win are going to put them in prime position, but everything else is on form. The rotations are fine, the speed is good, and the defense is there too. It's even like they limited Soniqs to only 1 goal. So if they make a bit more, if they can clean things up and be a bit more faster, or just give Mile the ball! What a play!
Is this fast enough for you, Dazzern? Can you handle that?
Oh my, it was definitely fast enough, faster than the Soniqs defense could react to it. No one expecting Mile to get a foot reset while in traffic with a defender on him. RBG, they get their first goal of the series off of some heroics, and he's looking for another one.
We speed it up. Is it fast enough? Yeah, I think the answer is yes. It's quick enough. It's a 1-0 lead. And that's the takeaway from game 1. Even on the block, Roldiz has to come across net. It was only 1 goal for Soniqs, so that is a positive. RBG able to strike first, but Shock, same sentiment. Tried to go for the lip reset. Couldn't judge the angle, and Money will clear it out to Stokely. Backboard to Stokely. Raul can't get there, and never mind, he does. And then dump out to what looked like a Shock possession, but still to clear away in traffic. Now Roldiz extending down the sideline. Grabbing control on the wing. Money going to think again about this engagement. How do you circle back in on the ball with a little boost and keep it away from Shock? Not much, but Miles able to get the clear.
And we see Mile on the carry every time. It's a little bit, scary for Soniqs. They don't necessarily know where he's going to go with the ball every single time he's on it. So Soniqs having a tough time managing that. But you also have to keep an eye out for Stokely. If he lines up a double tap, it's most likely going in.
Long clear down. Double tap off the back wall, but Money again just kind of fighting for his life, fighting his demons in the corner. You got Shock trying to move out for the lower 50. He was unsuccessful. Up to the ceiling we go. T-Corell going to burn a lot of boost. 50 in the tank. All the way cross field, and a great challenge as well. That 50 leads way to Soniqs having field position. 3:19 to go. We go to the corner with it. Can T-Corell find the angle? No, the cut off from RBG, and again, their defense continues to stand up on the challenge high in meeting the ball in the altitude. So far, it has been neutral at midfield, and the pinch works out again for the counterattack.
Still keep eyes on that possession. There's still plenty of time in game, and I see Soniqs starting to speed up. Roldiz making a lot of good touches and good plays downfield, too. It's only a matter of time. RBG needs to get an insurance goal here. Otherwise, nope, it's all tied up. Roldiz chips it over Mile.
Call it what you want it. It's that first touch from Roldiz right over the defender. How perfect can it be? Well, you get a tie game out of it. Mile had no chance. We sit at 1-1 with 2 minutes and 40-some change. And that is the response Soniqs needed. And so far, Roldiz has been the only one to score for the entire Soniqs roster in this 2-game stretch. You need to see more out of T-Corell being that striker coming from exit, more from Shock being that confident third man. So far, it's just been all of Raul, but it's working.
It is working. You're seeing Roldiz, get more involved. Like I said, it was only a matter of time before that goal was coming. I just didn't expect it to happen that fast. Now RBG, a little too comfortable with their 1-goal lead, get punished for it in this game. all tied up. Soniqs looking to put the series on match point as they're trying to turn the momentum around. That's a double commit, and this is danger for Money. Rolled this, tried to go for the low 50, but Money played it around.
The space is being utilized just by Raul's presence on the field. T. Carell can move freely through the backlines. He can cut off those quick timings, and Roldis again has a second, and it's a lead for Soniqs. And the defensive mistake, the double commit that comes out of RBG, and Money tries to bump off T. Carell, but Mile can't circle back in time, and just a bad call on the field.
Yeah, you talk about the bad call. Mile goes for corner boost here while the challenge is going. He has no idea. First of all, the boost isn't up as he goes for the pass. He's guessing. Then on top of that, he's just completely out of position, and Roldis had an open look at the net. Just walks up and shoots. Cannot give Soniqs that type of field presence. Cannot underestimate them when you move up the field like that. Look at T. Carell. Almost a beautiful double. Follow-up blocked out. And Roldis will keep this in play.
That's the scary thing. You just kind of put those shots down on target and just see what sticks. So far, T. Carell was looking for the pass. Shock had other ideas, but the possession remains for RBG. Minute 25, plenty of time. If you're a fan of this young squad that's turned so many heads and created so many upsets, as T. Carell burns a lot to give it back to Shock. Now what do? You're moving laterally, and you have to play off of the physics. It's not working, and a slow roller brings it back down to reality. Stokely with a bump, and almost got the back flip to go push that one to the upper 90. It doesn't work for RBG, but they are pushing numbers up, which is a good sign. Shock, however, going to try to take it away. Possession remains for the team in orange before bumping Roldis off the play. But even with this, Dazzer, in the last 30 or so seconds, the ball has stayed in Soniqs' half, but it hasn't advanced towards the net. It's just been kind of killed into the side.
Yeah, like you said, it has been killed into the side. Stokely looking for a pass, but Money not there at all. So that ball will go away. And again, for RBG, this spells danger. They've only been able to get a goal off of the Mile solo play in the opener. Besides that, they have been, again, scoreless, as they need to find something that works for them as a team in the final 30 seconds.
This might be it, though. Oh, leaves it back to Mile, and instead it gets cut off. I thought he was looking for Stokely on that short pass, but Shock reads the jump out to T. Carell, who's going to get it to the corner, looking for the double tap. Here comes Roldis, and keeping this ball up to kill time. Soniqs on the verge of going up 2-0 in the series. Popped up for Money. Does he have the touch? He does.
Oh.
Back down to Stokely.
Oh, there's a chance.
And it's left up for Roldis. He's going to try to clamp it on the wall. Mile for the pass, and the connection to T. Carell gets cut down, and it will touch the ground. Soniqs with a 2-0 lead.
Soniqs putting the series on match point after a 2-goal run in game 2. I mean, RBG started things off high, at least with Mile, but they didn't necessarily do anything afterwards, right? There was no build-up. Offense kind of fell down. Things fell in the midfield play, and they needed someone to step up to get an insurance goal. That offense was not there. Meanwhile, Soniqs slowly but steadily got back into the series, and all it took was a couple of mistakes, like 1 or 2 bad decisions, and a 50 that goes the wrong way. And next thing you know, Soniqs are in. That's why I said the consistency is what matters here for RBG. Yep. They need to remain consistent while also being able to try to, turn up the speed a little bit. And unfortunately for them, they weren't able to do so, and Soniqs took advantage every time.
Mile was able to score on the flip reset downfield off the kickoff 12 seconds into this game. And after that, not much happened. We were waiting for Money to ready up, and you can tell they're taking their time just to say, okay, let's breathe through. Let's take our time. Let's try to regroup, regain, calm, cool, collected. You can tell that RBG are feeling the pressure now, as Soniqs have looked relatively... they've relatively easily moved through this series, Dazzler. And I mean, after being down a goal, they scored 2, but they were never in panic mode. And I think RBG weren't expecting this kind of barrier to be in front of them, at least with a team that's scoring at will, the way the Soniqs has.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point. So for me, going into this one for RBG, again, just trying to remain, keep cleaning up the rotation a bit. Playing the 50s very well and not overextending is going to be a key factor. You see what happens when it does. Things are in shambles. Now Soniqs are going to get a lot of time. Stokely has to dive that. It's very awkward, but buying so much more time for the team to get back in play is just, that's what's important.
And now we look at the possession game. How much pressure can RBG apply into Soniqs' half, and how do they maintain possession? So far, it's just been long clears that give it away and looking for those quick passes, but Not a lot of extended offense. And Roldiz will circle out for boost, which means Stokely has free reign at midfield before TKRL comes in for the cutoff. And Mile does the same thing. So you're seeing RBG give the ball away to Roldiz, who almost got a double tap for the first goal of the game. But it's these quick touches, Dazarin, that you're not seeing them extend the ball up through the sidewalls. You're not seeing them keep it on the ground up midfield. They're very quick to try to punch it out and have someone overextend, but it just hasn't worked.
And it's said that, controlling the ball is going to be the thing that helps out big time, because then you're only taking one person, and what they do is they'll end up bringing out the defense there, especially with the level of mechanics you see on this team. But that's just going to go over the defense, and Stokely will pick up the first goal.
Well, sometimes those long punches actually work. When everyone's pushed up from Soniqs, the first goal goes for RBG, and finally, it looks like the offense might be able to start reading these challenges at midfield for RBG. But again, how late does it come? And how do they stop Soniqs from advancing upfield confidently? That has been the biggest question in this series. Shock punches it out to TKRL, and off target would have been a tie game. And now comes down to the defense, the thing that has kept RBG in this tournament.
And RBG being inconsistent throws off Soniqs so much. You even see TKRL, he played the miss there, but you can tell he didn't actually expect the miss because the shot was off target. So Soniqs even getting a little distracted here from RBG, but they have to play their own game. Right now they're down by 1. RBG would love to at least force this into game 4, start that reverse sweep going. But again, they should know that a 1-goal lead is not going to be enough here.
Now, Dazarin, if you're in those comms for RBG and clearly, Roldiz has been able to light you up a couple of times, and you're worried about TKRL being on the opposite end of the field for those long pinches or the pass that works out. Here's a shot, almost for the connection. What do you do in those comms? How do you play this differently? What are you seeing on the field that RBG need to change or at least hold on to as they have this lead?
Stay away from the wall. They haven't really necessarily been getting good challenges on the wall, but also bringing the ball up in midfield, trying to pass out in transition. That would do them wonders right now. What has been going on is they've been playing a lot of 50s on the sidewall, and then the ball gets trapped in the corner, and that eliminates a lot of their offense because they have to play back and watch for clears like the ones you just saw.
A dangerous bounce around. Mile almost comes out for the connection and makes it 2-0. And extra chances now coming out for RBG, something they had been working so hard towards the first 2 games. It finally starting to work out.
Oh no. That's a bad double commit. Stokely has to win these 50s, and he does. He's going to even pick up this mid boost. Beats out Roldiz. An excellent play alone from Stokely, but TKRL is able to get the save. Mile will come up here for this touch, and he'll keep RBG at least in the offensive half for a bit longer.
Mile not only got the touch, but he circled back in on the play and put it to the corner. So even if Money doesn't get possession, look where this ball remains. Up past midfield in the blue half. Finally, it squirts out, but Mile was single-handedly the MVP of that sequence, just keeping the play alive and keeping the offense on the other side of the field. Now Money can find the connection. Roldiz gets up in time to stop it. Punch to the corner. Who's going to kick it down to Roldiz? TKRL will do so, and there goes Roldiz now on the play, trying to fight for a challenge 50 win to Soniqs, and Shock with the clear. Extension down the field. Boys in blue advancing very quickly, but the takeaway from RBG continues to be a problem. Right over for Stokely. Can't get the dunk, and with a minute to go, Soniqs have had no offense in this game, and you can see why.
Yeah, meanwhile, Money looking for another touch. Forces TKRL to make another save. And it's getting out of control. 8 saves from Soniqs, but only 1 shot recorded. They have not had any time to be on the offensive end, and it does seem like RBG's finally starting to find their flow. We got 35 seconds left here in game 3. It's a 1-goal difference. RBG up.
Tried to corkscrew your way around the last defender. I don't blame you. Shock with a connection. Roldiz extends this. This is the chance for Soniqs. High on the shot. Shock has to slow it. Double tap down. Stokely clearing it out. And that was a breakaway on a counterattack that should have worked. And the long clear buys time for RBG on defense. One more push for Soniqs. That's all you have. They still hold on to the series lead, but will we see game 4? It's looking likely. Down to Shock. TKRL on the sidewall. He can be dangerous from this striking position, but an awkward push down. Shock sends it to the corner. It's kept up and killed. Kept up again by TKRL.
Roldiz with the touch. TKRL trying to get there. That'll laser through. RBG stay alive as they force game 4.
That suffocating offense was essentially the win condition in game number 3. They send it to Coliseum now, Dazarin, in a situation where Soniqs still in plenty of position. You have 2 games essentially to give. You don't want to, but for RBG, this is good waters to be in. You can tread here because Stokely finds 1 goal. That's been kind of the story of this series. 1 goal for Soniqs in game 1, like maybe 2 or 3 in game 2 across the board, but it's basically been a 1-goal game for the entirety. And if you just keep playing this over-aggressive offense that finds ways to get Mile involved where he can keep the ball alive, there's no reason we can't see Champions Field.
So, RBG, with the amount of offense they were able to put out, again, night and day from what we saw in games 1 and 2. They're here, and it does seem like they finally woken up off the rotation, limiting Soniqs to only a few shots in that game 3. And for Soniqs, although they've been taking their time and playing a consistent game, not having any offense is never a good sign for a team. So we'll see. Utopia Coliseum loaded up. Plenty of time on the clock. Can RBG force this game 5?
Well, for Soniqs, I think the key again is you need more from everyone else. T. Corral, what a great challenge. Roldiz can't finish the play, but Shock and T. Corral have been quiet. It's really just been Raul leading the pack and causing the disruption against RBG. You need a full man hit if you're going to be able to stop this team from going to a game 5. And these challenges will help you because it takes the ball away.
And here's Stokely playing this one off to the side while Roldiz will get up. Try to play that midfield. Shock is there. It'll bounce towards Money, who has space. T. Corral going up for the 50. He gets beat. Stokely off the follow-up. It's in! RBG strike first in game 4.
And there's that infield pass we were looking for, just setting up your teammates for success. Money gets bumped off the play, but he did all the heavy lifting. And Stokely, all you have to do is just point your car in the right direction. That's why you practice. A minute gone in game 4. And again, RBG strike first. And they look like the offense might actually starting to come out in full force here. Everyone's firing in all cylinders. Stokely's extending. Money trying to find the second goal. But it's looking good if you're an RBG fan.
And Soniqs trying to turn up speed to match that. But this ball is still going to be on the RBG end. And you see Money trying to pick this one up. Shock, decent challenge on the ball. And forces Mile to throw away possession. He thought T. Corral would have a piece of it. Now T. Corral, you know, the spearhead in terms of Soniqs offense, trying to set something up. Shot across. Roldiz. Shot on, but Stokely able to get the save.
T. Corral's still here, trying to win the 50. You have a demo, so power play that basically dies now. Everyone back up. 2 will come in on the line. Last man up with a little boost off the respawn will have to play goalie. Money comes circling in and basically clears it to the same spot. Roldiz doing a great job of keeping the ball up. And Shock will maintain possession, bringing it out now on the hood, but it's immediately taken away. And now the physicality from RBG starting to become a factor, something we need to think about with 2:58 to play. T. Corral to the corner. Extension won't be there. Can't find the connection nor the redirect. And once more, RBG will find a way to get the ball dead center at midfield and take it back.
Soniqs, again, when you see them bring that ball into the orange half, it just feels like they lose complete control. Now moving downfield, Money was looking for a bump on T. Corral, but T. Corral is up quickly. Roldiz will play it to the side. T. Corral has full boost, and so does Shock. But Shock having to chase this one gives Money a great 50. Roldiz last back, but maybe this could be a sign. T. Corral! Oh my goodness!
Goals speak for themselves. T. Corral with a fantastic redirect, and we got a tie game.
Off the ceiling, redirecting your net. Soniqs have woken up, and this is going to be an exciting conclusion. Tied up ball game, like you said. We're either going to Champions Field or Soniqs are going to the playoffs, and they would rather go to the playoffs. You see Roldiz with a quick shot. This will be Stokely. Has to get this one out into space. He does. T. Corral plays to the side. Shock is there. 50 straight down. Stokely needs to get a touch, and he does. Close chance there. RBG. The pressure seems to be coming at full force from the Soniqs, and they're having a tough time managing until that clear.
It's such a hard clear for Stokely as well. I don't think people truly realize that depth perception is dangerous. As Shock wins another 50 to Roldiz. But Stokely cuts it off, and again, this ball is not advancing for RBG. Finally, they might get it to midfield. Shock will cut it down. The speed picks up for Soniqs. And Roldiz was looking for the connection, and Soniqs still have a 2-1 series lead. If they win it here, they move to playoffs. But we could be looking at a game 5.
And you can see the Soniqs are hunting. Roldiz pre-jumping. for shots that he's telling the defense, if you don't block it, it is going in your net. He's up in the air early here to try to find the top right corner, but he'll have to go for a 50 instead. Here's Stokely with the ball, playing it low. Flick over Shock, and maybe even a follow-up into a goal. Tikaro has to play a 50. What will Money and Mile do? As Money tries to trap this one into the corner, it's a bounce out. Mile trying to wrap around it, but now has to play a 50. There's a lot of pressure here for RBG as they're on the blue half for the Sonics, but they fail to hold on to possession, and the transition ensues.
Feels like we're 1 or 2 breaks away from everything collapsing and seeing a magnificent counterattack from RBG. They've been close, and Money continues to just put the ball in a dangerous spot with no boost. Stokely now has to circle back in front of the net. He'll do so on the clear, but gets taken out on the play, so you give one, you get one, net 0. Roll this. Backboard. Money gets taken out, but it kills the ball. Tikaro again to Shock. Here comes your chance, and Soniqs can't find the net.
Defense still set for RBG, and that's a pinch for the blue side that you don't want to see. It's going to go into the Sonics corner. Tikaro within the final 10 seconds loses the ball. Shock off the corner. Who's going to hit this one? It's Stokely, but it's thrown off. Money trying to get this one mid. Miles demoed, and I don't think anyone can grab it. Wait, Tikaro can. Stokely keeps it up. Both teams are playing the ball here, but I think Rodis is going to kill it. He is. Overtime in game 4.
That's a smart play from Raul. Last thing you want is that ball to ricochet around front of the net. Just kill it where you got it. 3 seconds to go, and we keep going. Tikaro can't find anyone, but he might pump out Stokely, and Roses isn't able to find the goal.
Unbelievable save from Mile. He was 2 steps ahead of the play. Sonic still trying here with Rodis playing the slow play. He gets a dunk, but Stokely recovers. He's back in time. Sonic still. This is offensive pressure we haven't seen in a while. The demo comes out. The pass. Rodis preacher, but he couldn't get a piece of it. Shock. Shot top left. Stokely's there for the save. Rodis stole the boost. Is going to go again. No follow-up. Shock's there. All that pressure from the Sonics will send them through.
You could smell the fear. RBG were struggling to clear it out. What do you do? Shock comes from the side and just punches it with a dunk to secure this series. And Sonics will win it 3-1. Almost looking at Champions Field. Shock says, I'm out. There's no chance I'm staying in after that. He leaves on a winner, and Shock steps up for the final goal. Finally, everyone contributes, and Sonics will move on to playoff bracket tomorrow.
That was, I mean, they did not let the ball leave that half. Once it was on RBG's side, Sonic said it's not leaving until we score. And my goodness, I've seen consistent offensive pressure, but that was suffocating.
They didn't let it leave the goal line, Dazrin. They said, we're getting a goal off this sequence. If not, we're leaving. And they just did. They continued to put shot after shot and put pressure there. Roldas had no boost, was keeping the ball up. Shock and Tikaro were trying to move in and push players out. You could literally feel the fear in RBG knowing that they were stuck in no man's land. There was nowhere to run. And Sonics will move on in a very impressive Game 4 win, a 3-1 series win. And now they move on to the playoff bracket. But for RBG, they do bow out here. However, I think it's important to highlight, as much as Sonics come away with a clutch win, RBG had a phenomenal weekend. This was not a weekend that many expected this roster, let alone how young they are, to be able to put up such a solid fight. And the fact that they sat 3 in groups just behind NRG and G2, which is not a bad stat, and they continued to find ways to stay scrappy, stay in games. They took down version 1 in 4 games, which doesn't happen much. And then, you know, they lose here. This was an impressive weekend for young teams like Alpine, at Charlotte Phoenix, XSET, and for RBG. This was a very good weekend. I hope they understand that.
Yeah, you know, we are talking about the season, you know, starting to kind of come to a close. There's really only one regional left, and then you have the major. So for RBG, I mean, you got to think about things like that going in. But I mean, this is one of those times where we've seen time and time again plenty of teams that are around the bubble that will, you know, form for a while, play out, they get a couple of losses and then disband. But for RBG, it's definitely one of those things where you want to see this squad stick together to see what more they can do in the future.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. And I hope that, you know, that they will choose to stay on this roster. But for Sonics, they move on, and I believe they will, I don't know, they'll probably play, I think, G2. So yeah, that is your win. That you're extra play is now playing G2, arguably probably the best team currently in this tournament because Drees looks absolutely disgusting. But up next, we have Rogue and Stromboli. This is going to be an interesting one, but you don't want to miss it. We'll see you guys after the break, and we'll be back in a minute.